October 18th. It is now 6:06 p.m. Town Council meeting as a sewer commission in Town Council Chambers, 1170 Main Street, West Warwick, Rhode Island. Jay, we lead us in prayer.
I was just informed 30 seconds ago I'd be doing the prayer, so I apologize. I'm going to steal a quote from Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, who says, "Judge less, love more. When you judge others, you don't define them, you define yourself." Thank you.
Yeah.
Jay, we lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Council President Goslin.
Here.
Council Vice President Williamson.
Here.
Councilman Messier.
Here.
Councilman Licciardi.
Here.
Councilman Bourget. Participating communities: Town of Coventry, Town of Situate, City of Cranston, City of Warwick, Town of West Greenwich. There is a quorum on record. First item on the agenda is Resolution SC 2022-32, approval of the September 2022 Sewer Commission minutes.
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
One second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Next item on the agenda is Superintendent's report.
Good evening, Council.
Hi, Jeff.
All right, month of September at the water treatment facility. Pretty standard month as it has been throughout the summer. Our average daily flow was 3.8 million gallons per day. Our max flow was 14.2 million gallons per day, and our minimum flow was 1.3 million gallons per day. For CBOD removal, we came in at 99%, which equated to 2.2 milligrams per liter. Total suspended solids also came in at 99% removal, which equated to 2.5 milligrams per liter. For phosphorus, we achieved a 0.06 milligrams per liter, and nitrogen was 5.1 milligrams per liter. Sludge, we sent 307 tons to Synagro. To the landfill, we sent 161 tons. I believe 1 week that they were down and they were not accepting sludge from other facilities. So that's why we had to go to that facility for the week. The total tons that went out in September were 468. For sewer backups, we had one on the public line on East Greenwich Avenue. The private lines, there were 5 block ups, one on Peters Ave, Garnett Street, Terramar Drive, Cedar Drive, and Oriole Ave. Order complaints, I'm going to skip for the moment and just say that for the violations for the month of September, there were none at the facility. So I've had Josh kind of spearheading the odor control issue. As you can see on the report, there's 17 of them. So I want to have Josh step up and kind of talk about what's come in, what we've done, and what we're looking to do.
Good evening, Council. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. As Jeff said, we'd had 17 odor complaints in the month of September, 10 of which came from the same address on Fernwood Drive, 5 of which came from Providence Street, 4 were from the same address, 1 from Wakefield Street, and 1 from Victory Ave. When we get odor complaints, we respond very quickly, especially during the day. We often try to make contact with the person making the complaint. We drive around the neighborhood close to them, try and detect odors. Of the 17 odor complaints, I can say the ones that we responded to, we were not able to detect any odor whatsoever. Going forward, we are in talks with DEM on doing an odor control study. We are going to be hiring a third party to help us with that consultation.
Any questions?
There a cost associated with that, Josh?
We're still in negotiations with that to find out what DEM exactly wants us to do with that study.
Okay.
I just have a question, and I don't know, but being here 6 years on the council, I realize that most of these are coming from 2 addresses, you're saying. They have to be smelling something. They're either smelling something or they're not. So if they are, and you guys come out there and you don't smell anything, it's either they're, hate to say it, either they're lying or you're just happen, not to be there at the time. So what can we do about this? Because this is pretty high. I mean, I don't think we've ever been in this position where we have more than like half a dozen, at one time. And then it's a lot of time it was zero for the longest time. So what are we doing different? Maybe you could answer that question because
One of the things that the staff has been, I'm sorry, one of the things the staff has been doing, when an odor complaint comes in, they immediately not only go to visit the individual and contact the individual, they look at the treatment plan. What processes are we doing at the time?
Mhm.
To try to define, odors are very random at treatment plants. They come and they go depending on the process. Well, and I'm not going to say they're fibbing about the odor complaints. It could be that they did smell it, but these odors come and go. They're not, there are sometimes odors linger and it'll last forever. But that's only when you're in the building. Sometime years ago, when it really used to have major odor complaints, you'd go into that building and that odor would stay with you all day, even if you left the building. It's not there now, but it's random. And so what we're trying to do is identify what process is being done. Are we moving sludge? Are we taking the dumpsters from the headworks out of the facility? All of those things contribute to odor because we're not in a controlled environment. Remember, we control odors at several locations, one at the headworks. So as the odors come in, they're scrubbed. So no off gases are scrubbed. As we leave the headworks, it goes into the primaries. The primaries are covered and we scrub the odors from there. As we then go into the sludge processing, odors are controlled or scrubbed from the holding tanks. There are two holding tanks, one with activated sludge, the other one with primary sludge, and we're scrubbing the odors from the building. So those are where the odors are contained in the primary source. So what DM, because of the number of complaints, DM has requested that a third-party study be conducted on this facility to kind of determine where it is, because they recognize they're a little bit more than what happened. Has things changed? We're going through with Jeff. Has things changed from the prior operations to now? Are we doing something different?
that's my question.
And right now we're not. But again, it could be such a minor thing that can cause this. So we're investigating it.
Okay.
I don't have an answer today, but after the study is conducted, we will have an answer because DM is making us do this study. I spoke with them. They want a third-party study, and even though it's in the fall, with potentially less odors, they do want it analyzed so that in case they've identified something, we can correct it. And then they can go ahead in the spring and summer. One other area that during seasons like this, and we've had some of these in the past, the wetlands do generate an odor when it's very dry and the sun is baking on it. But I can't pinpoint and say that's the odor, but it has been in the past.
So other people, when you get like 17 complaints, I'm thinking if I were to call Josh, I'd say, all right, I smell this odor. And you ask me, what does it smell like? It's not roses. So it smells, I mean, does it smell? We talked about it at the last meeting. What does it smell like? So I can give you, all right, it smells like rotten eggs. Are these people they're smelling it? Are they able to tell you what the smell is? Or?
They have described it similarly. And I can tell you as far as the treatment facility, it doesn't smell like human feces. And from the collection system, you have to imagine all the flow coming to our plant. It mixes and it combines with other things coming from industry, from commercial businesses. So throughout that system, it's not going to smell like human feces. Mm-hmm. So that points to something else going on. And that's what we're trying to investigate.
Okay. Because I know,
and as far as odor complaints go, we ask the public to call us as soon as they smell it. So that way we can actually come and smell it as well.
Yourself,
yeah, absolutely.
Because I can tell you the last one we talked last month, and when I was at St. Joe's, it was a definitive smell, and it's like it smell like shit.
Yeah.
But I've also talked to other people who who haven't called, and they get an odor, it's at night, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning. They live in the area on Providence Street, up the hill, near the gas station. And it's quite often. But it's like, it's lasts for like 5 or 10 minutes and then
Right.
it disappears. So they don't call.
Well, I would just have to
So you-
assume out of 17, there's probably many more, because I would say a lot of, out of every call you get, there's probably 4 or 5.
That
people
don't call.
That just wouldn't even
Just
know,
let it
wouldn't even
go,
know
you
that there's a
know?
way to call.
But what happens usually, it's something that comes 5 or 10 minutes, it goes away. It could be wind direction, wind changes,
Mhm.
one of the things we implemented many, many years ago here is we put a wind, we know which way the wind is going. I mean, we get odor complaints sometimes and the wind is going towards the mall. And we're getting odor complaints on Providence Street. How does that happen?
Yeah.
So how do you address that? Odors are very subjective. And it's very difficult to pinpoint an odor, 2 blocks up the street. There's a treatment plant there, so we blame the treatment plant. I'm not saying it's not there, it's just very difficult,
Yeah.
very subjective.
So when is this study going to be done?
We have to put a schedule together from DEM. We have, I believe it's 60 days. They're going to allow us an extension of that 60 days because we got to procure the consultant to do the work. It's probably by 60 to 90 days, we'll have somebody on board to get that study done.
Okay.
Because we just can't hire somebody because of the procurement process in the town.
Is there a line item in the budget for this?
No,
Yeah, that's why I asked the
So
cost.
where's the money coming from?
why can't it? As far as DM is concerned,
Our rates aren't going to go up again because of this, right?
no, they're gonna have.
We
to-
got whacked enough last time.
They're gonna have to find, I can't speak for Jeff and the commission, but I would assume you're gonna have to find money somewhere else in the budget and reduce maybe a capital expenditure and put it off.
Okay.
That's why one of the things Jeff is doing in capital, outside of what you're seeing now with the one capital item being on the agenda, capital items are not going to be purchased at the beginning of the budget year, like it has in the past.
Mm.
It's going to wait till the end of the budget year. That's going to be your cushion.
Okay.
That's, what Jeff and I talked about as moving forward. He brought it up to me and I said, that's the way most superintendents work at.
Okay.
Okay?
Any questions?
Any other questions, council?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next item is industrial pretreatment report.
Good evening. Industrial pretreatment for the month of September. Pharmera, the pharmaceutical manufacturer, has submitted their self-monitoring reports and they were in compliance. They also notified the program that they will be changing product lines. It's going to be similar to the production they're doing now, but they have to notify us of this change. And we'll work with them through this change process. Annual inspections were conducted at Warwick Ice Cream and Amtron. Warwick Ice Cream is pretty much consistent over the years of their operation. They occasionally will have an oil and grease violation because they make ice cream and that genetically always has oil and grease associated with it. But they haven't made any major changes. With regards to Amtron, they made some management changes and they're also changing the production line. They're looking at different types of tanks now. And they'll be there hasn't gone into full production yet. When it does, we'll be monitoring that operation. With regards to the private wastewater facilities, 207 and 211 Quaker Lane did submit their O&M manual. However, their O&M manual did not contain the sewer plans. This development was 3 buildings that are now being divided. The company has requested a waiver to avoid the separation of sewers with the 2 operations. And the company has provided a consent agreement to allow this construction to continue. This month, we also looked at Showcase Cinema, Cohesa Corners, and Marketplace Center. These were all private lines that were cleaned. We did notice that there was a grease buildup in the Showcase Cinema line and also that one of the pumps had failed. They're replacing the pump. We think that the grease buildup it may be attributed to the new addition to that complex, which is, I believe it's Starbucks, Chalopi's, and the exercise facility. The other two lines, Squeeze Corner and Marketplace Center, were found to be in good condition. Food services, there were 7 of them that we inspected, 2 in the city of Warwick and 7 in West Warwick. All of them, with the exception of Roadhouse, Boomerangs, and the Mexican restaurant, were found to be in compliance. Texas Roadhouse and Boomerang found their oil and grease recovery system was overloaded. They were given a notice of violation and required to clean it. With the Mexican restaurant, there was a notice of violation. For some reason, the owner removed the approved grease recovery system and put in the one that is not approved. So we're working with them to get that back online. With regards to new construction, 24 Quaker Lane completed the installation, as well as 37 Washington Street. Plans were reviewed for the property at 31 JP Murphy Highway. Plans were submitted, installed the back flow valve, clean out, and test locations. And lastly, submitted 282 Pulaski Street for a commercial condominium. It didn't include an application fee. We did review the plans and sent a letter regarding the planned application, and they're waiting for the application fee. Similarly, Steve's Bounce House in Coventry, which is in the center of New England, submission did not meet the requirements and a letter was issued. That's all I have.
Any questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Next item is the financial report. Good evening again, everyone. Year-to-date operating and debt expenses for fiscal year 2023 through September 30th totaled $3,952,841, which is 42% of the annual budget. In September, we paid one of our 2 bond payments for the year. It's our larger bond payment of $2.6 million. Fiscal year 2023 sewer usage and industrial collections through September 30th totaled $3,870,028, which is 43% of the total billed. Fiscal year 2023 sewer assessment collections through the end of September totaled $164,002, which is 66% of the total billed. Overtime for the month of September was $12,849, which is 9% of the annual budget. Two operator positions were vacant for most of the month, resulting in a savings of $8,114 in budget code 205110, which is sewer department salaries. FY 2023 year-to-date overtime is $36,940, which is 26% of the annual budget. Year-to-date savings in sewer department salaries line item is $26,988, which is helping to offset the facility's overtime expenses. In late September, 2 new employees began work filling the vacant operator positions, and as of September 26th, the facility is fully staffed.
Any questions for Tom?
Got a little bit.
Oh, you go.
Sorry. Sorry. Year-to-date sludge removal costs through the end of September total $205,193, which is 31% of the annual budget. As the superintendent stated in his report, there was 1 week in September we had to offload at Resource Recovery due to Synagro having processing issues at their facility. Overall, offloading at Resource Recovery since July 1st has resulted in an increased year-to-date expense of $29,703 versus what the facility would have spent if we had been able to offload all weeks at Synagro. Cash and investments through the end of September totaled $3,254,281. Council President, one thing I would like to add, if I can. A couple of months ago, I made the council aware that the governor had expanded the LIHEAT program, low-income heating energy assistance program, to include a LIWAT program, which allowed folks to be eligible to have their sewer and water bills paid as well. I spoke to West Bay Community Action last week. There's 944 residents, households in town that are eligible for that program. To date, only 6 have taken advantage of it. So if just in your conversations, if you've come across folks,
is there How can they sign up for this? What's the pro?
They have to be eligible for, they have to qualify for the LIHEAP program. If they qualify for
How
LIHEAP,
do they sign up?
they
for
can
that?
reach out to West Bay Community Action. I don't have the number off the top of my, I should have brought that.
You know
with
what? I think I have the info. I think I do have it.
And then they can,
Look at my
West Bay
email.
will determine their eligibility for them. Thank you.
Is there a deadline for that?
No, the LIWAP program will not extend indefinitely, but the last I knew, it would extend into 2023.
And how many households are eligible, did you say?
944, and only 6 are taking advantage of it. I just wanted to mention that. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, Council President.
Is there a way we can get a list of those residents?
Absolutely, I can ask, I believe West Bay may have sent them to me. If not, I'll see if I can obtain it.
Russ, can we save it for public comment on that?
I was just going to say that if you take a look at the application, you not only have to be an owner of the property, but you have to be delinquent on the sewer bill, which is something that really doesn't happen in this town. That's all.
No, thank you.
Yeah, if we can get a sample of the application too.
Yeah, I think I might have it. I'll forward it to you. I just gotta find it through my email. Somebody sent it to me actually a couple of days ago.
I'll see if I can get the list of households from West Bay as well. You're welcome.
Any questions for Anthony? Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Resolution SC 2022-33, purchase of storage shelving.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Move a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And we're at public comment for sewer. Any public comment for sewer? Hearing none.
Hold on, I think I might. Yeah, I have the information. I'll forward it to the rest of the council in case you want to let any of your constituents know about it, or
All right.
police
Thank you.
department or whoever wants to forward it out to.
No public comment.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
I actually didn't get a second. I'm sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
You too.
Thank
Have a good
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Have a good night, council.
You too.
Thank you.
This came from somebody at West Bay too, so. Yeah.